Alright, so I finally got it done. At least it's all put together again. This time it's fully complete. This is a Sonic model 900. Call it a classic. It's almost the same size as the Pro over there, but it's slightly a little shorter. There's the 600. I wish I had the other one, but somebody else found it out in the field. A prototype that just had a receiver and a camera. I know someone found it because they ripped out the battery and threw it, and we found the battery like the end of summer. But long story short, I only have one of the 600s left. I got the Sonic Classic 900 and the Pro over there. I fixed my issue with the video again. It was a bad video transmitter. I tried to fix it, crashed, and I fixed it, and I guess something else was wrong with it, because I put a video transmitter on there, same one. Tested the first one, couldn't go that far. Tested it again with the new one. I could go so far with just walking. So yeah, this is the 900. It's got the same video transmitter in AKK, 2000 milliwatt, but I don't put it on that high of a channel unless I want to. There's a GPS, or this is a omnical antenna, right-handed, or omnical or helical, I can't remember. And then we got crossfire right there. It's the nano off to the side. Sorry, I'm trying to do this one-handed. And I did cut a hole in the top so that it cools off. This is two-sided. This gets hot and the other side gets hot. So I figured just do that. There's a vent there. That's our beeper. I used little Adreno wires so these can be pulled apart, but I did put hot glue on the wires, like, and pressed it so that they don't come undone unless I want them to come undone. I did add some secret sauce to this. I added a it's within the line of this. There's what's it called, an LC filter. I just clipped it into the wires and then just, stuck it on right here. It's there. There's an LC filter. And what I'm doing is taking the power from the board, which is, I found out it's not 5 volts coming out through these wires. It's like 13 or 14 volts. So I used an LC filter to clean it up to power just the video transmitter. The video transmitter can take, like, I think it's like 5 to 7 to all the way up to 25 volts. It's like 7 to 25 volts. So this will clean up the I think it's like 14 something volts that comes out of this board. This will clean it up so that it's not going to give me any lines. I also added a UBEC. Let me move this. A UBEC is like a it's UBEC is they have like 5 volt UBECs, 7 volt UBECs, 12 volt UBECs. All it does is it takes the voltage or whatever you're having and either steps it down most of the time. So that's what this does. This takes the power from here, and like I was saying, that this board puts out like 14 point something volts, not 5 volts out of that line. And this 7 volt UBEC steps it down to like 7 point something. My camera here only takes like 7 volts. Some cameras take 12 or 25 volts, like the Sonic model over there. That camera over there can take all the way up to, I think, like 12 to 25 volts. But I used a UBEC on there, same thing, just to isolate the power from my battery to the UBEC so that I don't get any lines in my video. If I were to take the power that comes out of this board for the camera, you get staticky lines in the feed, and I found that out. So I power it up from the battery posts to a UBEC, a separate power source, so that when I punch it, my camera doesn't get affected by the power that's being fed through the ESC through here. Yeah. On the Sonic model, I just did some battery leads, like right off the post right there. It's not much different. I just did them right from the contacts for my power source. I still probably am going to add a cap, probably like right here to it. I don't always run a cap because there's 2 fat caps on the ESC, but they say putting a cap on helps even furthermore filter out any noise in your video. I'm just trying to get really good video feed because I'm tired of getting lines or bad video feed. That video transmitter I had on there was making me do everything in the book and find out all the secret stuff just to find out that I just had a bad video transmitter. I do have a little bit of extra nose weights, pennies. I might add some more to get the CG right. And I have the GoPro in there, the session, because that's what this is meant for. But yeah, with my little UBEC and my LC filter, I'm hoping that helps filter out some of the power so I don't get any lines or any like shutoffs from this board putting out 14 volts to my camera, which you only need 7, or this video transmitter getting the 14 point whatever volts from that and it not being consistent. So that LC filter should take care of that. Any lines? Yeah, I got everything routed off to the side, just kind of stuck over there, tapped hot glue in a couple places. Everything can be disconnected and this whole thing can just be pulled out. It's a sticky tab underneath the board and hot glue on the sticky tab and not directly underneath the pins because I'm weird. I don't want the glue to touch the pins even though it's glue. I don't do that. But yeah, it's in there. That's how I done most of them. As long as you don't have this thing baking in the sun, you'll be fine. Otherwise, taking a little bit of the rubber cement, which I did put it in the corner over here and like a corner over here. This will hold it just in case if the glue fails, or foaming Gorilla Glue will help just a little bit in each corner. But I like using the hot glue to hold it and the sticky tabs, because the sticky tabs and hot glue is enough to hold it. But yeah, that's kind of what we got going on here. I still need to get some zip ties so I can zip tie the top. In place. Still gotta find a sweet spot for these wires too, but everything fits. Just want everything to be comfortable. Well, that's what we're dealing with. And it's got a sunny sky. There's a 22167 and the KV is a 1400. So and that's what I was using on the Sonic Model Pro over there. And this is about the size of the Pro. They recommend that you run like a 2203 and a 2216. I recommend a 2203, which is like half the size of this thing, like where my thumbnail is, like our small motor. And they recommend it to be like a 2300 kV or 2400 kV. I was going to run a 2650, like a 2206.5 or something like that, 2600 kV motor on here with a small prop, but that would have been just like a screamer, and like I don't think I would have pushed it as easy. This being this big, I wanted it to be like this one, but like that one. Like this is the size of this. So yeah, that's what I went with, was the motor that was on the Sonic Model Pro. That's 1000mm. This is a 900mm. That's a 600mm. You can see like this one's not nearly as big versus the Pro. Let me set this one up here. Let's take this so you can see, like, they're almost the same. That looks pretty dope. Yeah, it's like over like $1,000 worth of shit right there. I think about it. It's like that's an easy $200-300. That's an easy fucking $300. It's a video transmitter. And the price of the flight controllers went up, and the motor and the ESC. Same thing. It's like easy $300. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I can't wait to bathe in this one. I'm gonna make sure I get the CG right. And I hope that the LC filter and me using those UBECs powering up the cameras consistently keeps playing out as good as they are working. It's what everybody else says to do. Oh yeah, and add more grounds, which I just use different power sources so I don't have to worry about using the same power source, so I have to ground out more. That was a trick. Someone said to ground out more stuff, like ground out all your grounds to your grounds and have like a main power ground. If this doesn't work like it is, I mean, it's working. If I notice that it's like still lines, maybe I'll try the whole grounding thing, but it's working out pretty great. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me mumble jumble. Have a good night.